So here it is. Here's Randy's studio. I like this one. That's the big one right there. A Variety announcing Randy as the voice of the Oscars. And this is the business end of the studio right here with this, her rack. She's got a spare Zephyr. She's got her Avalon 737. Telos 1 phone patch. Zephyr Extreme. All the standard stuff. The big door. This door is some serious business right here. So this is where Randy does her VO work. It's a really nice, quiet space. Somebody designed this place and did it right, because it is quiet in here. It's properly ventilated. It's not warm. It's not cold. And there's her 416 on the M600 shock mount. Just a cool space. And there's a mirror, which I think is brilliant, because when you're sitting in here looking into the darkness or looking into the corner here, it can be kind of, lonely. And just look in the mirror and see who's at the door. So this is a practical thing, so she can see who's looking at her from the door. That's Randy Thomas's studio. Exclusive tour from George Whittam on Whittam's World.
Welcome to Whittam's World. And I got my friend and my boss, Chief Edge Officer. This is David Goldberg, owner of Edge Studios. How you doing, David?
Well, don't slur your words.
I just picked up David at the airport and told him we're going to do a comedians in cars getting coffee. We may not get to do the coffee part right now, but well, maybe we can try to be funny at least.
Usually I would tell someone on camera to look at the camera, but do me a favor, keep your eyes on the road.
I'm keeping my eyes on the road today. Don't worry about that. And we're going to get a Graeme, who's flying in at 5:15. And then after we get Graeme, we're going to get Melissa Disney, who actually is funny. And beautiful. She's the whole package. So that's going to be fun. So we're going to have everybody here riding.
So to all viewers, just jump ahead a couple chapters.
Yeah, exactly. Fort Myers, I've never been here. Have you ever been here before?
No.
It's actually a pretty big town. It's sprawling. It kind of spreads out all the river. But yeah, it's been cool. I got to spend a lot of time with Chris Corley yesterday, man. I set up a studio. Well, Chris has an amazing studio. I mean, he started in radio, and then he's transitioned to promo, as some lucky radio people get to do. And he's been doing. I'll tell you what. He's one of those really successful voice actors you've never heard of, because he's just too busy being a voice actor. He's not really hardly on social media, although I do see him. He's a Facebook friend, and I see him pop up from time to time. But he's very much just doing his thing, keeping his head down, working his butt off. And so anyway, he has a pretty nice studio in his house. It's one of those, he's got the radio style desk with the rack on the one side, and he stands at his desk. He's got a view out windows to the neighborhood. It's really kind of a comfortable space. And then he's got a rack room, like an isolation booth for the rack. So in a space that you would normally think, I'm going to put my voiceover booth in there, that's where he put his equipment. So the equipment is in this isolated room, and he's in this big open room. It's really, really nice.
So what was the goal of your work with him?
So I mean, he has a smorgasbord of gear in there. Like, if you saw what he had in the rack, you'd be like, what are you using all this stuff for? I mean, he's one of these guys who loves gear, and when some engineer or radio buddy or whatever says, hey, I like this thing, you should get it, Chris goes out and buys it. So he had at least 6 or 7 different preamps in there. He had quite a mishmash of stuff, but he keeps falling back and landing on the same gear, the same preamp. He uses something called a Valley 400, made by the Valley Company, which is long out of business. And so he's kind of become dependent on these Valley 400 processors. It's one of those channel strips. It's got EQ. Go ahead. It's got EQ, compression, downward expansion, right? But it's the minimum number of knobs, because everything's designed for a voice. It was like the air processor for a DJ in the 80s. Everybody had one.
It sounds like the old symmetric 528.
It's like their version of a 5. Yeah, exactly. So that's what he's been using all these years. And he's like, I keep getting them revamped and I get them fixed, and I got them so they're running really quiet and clean. You know, he's really maintained these things. But he's decided he finally wants to not be so dependent on these rack pieces. In fact, he literally brings one of these with him when he travels. He brings a rack unit so he can get the sound. So I told him about this stuff from Universal Audio called the Apollo stuff, the Apollo system, which it's an audio interface and it's a DSP with mixing, mic preamps, channel strips, everything, all internally. And you can insert channel strips, and it has simulations of all the famous channel strips: Neve, API, SSL.
Does it have the Valley?
It does not have the Valley, right? So what we want to do is we want to duplicate the sound, because that's his money sound. That's the one people expect. Mm-hmm. So that was my biggest challenge. Well, first we had to install his brand new Mac Pro. So he bought that little black trash can sized Mac Pro.
Yeah, those look great.
He just bought one of those, and that thing was, well, actually it was a piece of cake. It went in without an issue. We cloned his current Mac Pro to the new one, so his user account and everything was there, and turned it on, and we were back in business. Because everything was in the rack, we didn't have to run cables through the floor and everything. All the audio cables that go to his desk are already run, and I didn't have to pull cable. It was pretty easy. So it took a few hours to get that whole thing online. Then we had to start playing with the processing and trying to get it to start sounding like the Valley 400. That probably took me about 2 hours of experimenting. But I ended up getting a sound that's almost indistinguishable from the Valley using just a Neve channel strip called the 88RS or something. I guess it's their current console's channel strip, whatever. I was really surprised I got it that close using just one plugin, but it came out really well. I made sure I left this thing set up so that no matter what, if he freaked out and he couldn't understand the way to use the Apollo, even though I have presets and recall, I made it as easy as possible. I said, no matter what happens, if you panic, go to the recall thing and choose panic, okay? When you do that, it's gonna work just like your old Digio 03. The audio is just gonna pass through the Apollo, back out the other side, just like the Digi, and it'll be no difference to you. It'll work the same way. I even routed everything so it's the same channel 5 and 6 like he was using on the Digi. Everything the same. But I split the output of his Sennheiser 416, so it's going. One of them outputs is going to his Valley,
oh, that's smart.
And one of them is going to the Apollo. And he can just by choosing the input on Pro Tools, choose which channel he's using. So that was cool. So once we got that going, we recorded the Valley track and the Apollo track parallel, at the same time, and we A/B'd back and forth, and got the gains matched and everything. And man, he who was pretty picky, was pretty impressed. He thought it was really close. So that was a cool accomplishment. That's, for me, one of the most interesting things I get to do, because most of it's design, it's mechanicals, it's not very I don't get to do a lot of engineering, pure engineering. I'm just doing more technical. So there I got to really exercise my engineering skill and my ear and everything. So that was cool.
Yeah, that sounds very cool.
Yeah.
Hey Graeme, welcome to Fort Myers. So
there's Graeme.
That's unlocked.
All right.
Hello.
Hey Graeme.
Hey George.
Welcome to Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, we've been recording for 15 minutes. We've been looping the airport for 15 minutes. Actually, it really is quite interesting what George worked on.
So I Apolloized him, Graeme already kind of knew what I was doing over there. I told him, because we were Skyping back and forth about what plugins to use. And
yeah, did you kind of come up
I did
with
it with the Neve 88RS.
Did you?
Just that one plugin. Yeah, I couldn't believe I was able to get it.
With the one plug. That's just that much less stuff to get.
If anything, he said it's cleaner. What happened to the crudiness of the Digio 02 I was using?
Well, that's because you got rid of the Digio 2.
Yeah, he was noticing how much cleaner it sounded,
Well, yeah, certainly the Apollo was like 27 times cleaner than that old Digi.
Yeah.
I am absolutely convinced that all these guys, Howard Parker, Chris Corley, all of them, that they worry far more about the sound that they're delivering than the end client does.
Well, he said that I've tried this and I've tried that, and most of the time they don't even notice. They never notice the difference.
They won't, right?
He's like, it's always. I said I hear that all the time. It's you guys that have been recording your own voice for 30 years. You're the ones that hear the difference. You know, you guys notice it immediately, but they're not generally going to hear it unless they're really good engineers, really picky.
Yeah, and all these things are just—they're played one time. You know, it's funny.
Well,
like,
that's what he kept saying last night. He's like, oh, they're going to play us one time. Ever.
Right. It's amazing how much work goes into these things. You know, the writing, the editing, the visual editing. You know, and
exactly
it's one time, and that's it. It's done, gone forever.
So David.
Yeah,
There we go.
Crazy.
Say hi.
In the car.
Look at this. Who's this over here? Look at that.
Mwah. Who are we talking to?
I don't know.
Is this just your everyday friendly webcam?
It's Whittam's World, I guess. It's Whittam's World.
Whittam's World.
Whittam's World.
Whittam's World. Whittam's World.
I just picked up Melissa Disney at the Fort Myers, South
Who knew?
Florida airport.
Yeah.
And what are you doing here?
I'm just gonna go around the airport a few times because I hear that's really fun.
Yeah, we're gonna go this way now.
Just go around.
We're gonna loop
and
for another
around.
20 minutes.
And I'm gonna get George to go just under 30 miles per hour. He'll drive me crazy.
Yeah, just under 30 the whole way.
And then we're gonna go sing.
Uh-huh.
You guys don't realize it, but you're gonna sing.
Oh, you're gonna make us
Yeah,
sing?
you're all gonna
Oh,
sing.
you do that, huh?
Yeah, I do that.
I can't wait.
No, I don't.
The venue
Maybe
is
I
really
do.
nice.
Maybe I do.
Okay.
I'm gonna take like a 3-hour nap,
Okay.
and then I'll be ready to go.
Oh, you don't have... Yeah, you're off the hook until what, 9 o'clock? Or 8 o'clock?
I don't know.
Oh. Were you being funny? Or you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't it go from 6 to 9? Isn't it almost 6 right now?
I was going to say,
It's
wait a minute.
5:53.
When do you go on again?
I don't know. I don't know what my on time is. I just stay on.
Everybody's waiting for you, so, you know.
Is there food at this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good thing. Randy
Knows how to throw a party?
She knows how to throw a party.
Okay.
She's not... There's food and drink. It's you know,
Wait,
it's...
you guys own the Edge Studio?
He does.
Awesome.
He's the man. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, George.
We talked too much. She was tired of it. She was a very dear
He has a secret habit.
So he's thinking she's in bed. You're out.
What a cool guy. I love it. See you later, voiceover mastery. What a great conference this has been. Congratulations, Randy Thomas, Denise Chamberlain, the whole crew that produced this thing. You guys did a great job. I'm really impressed, and I hope you'll welcome me back next November, for the next November to remember. Peace out, Fort Myers. Bye, everybody. This is George Whittam reporting for Whittam's World and EWABS. Bye. Look at this beast. Let's see who's driving this beast. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself, sir?
Get on the road.
Anything I could do for you this kind Sunday afternoon?
You got quite a driver, man.
Quite a drive.
Quite a driver.
Hey, Skeeter. Who got the goddamn horse and carriage? Nobody got the horse and carriage. Son of a bitch. I told that man he better move. Did George Whittam go get the damn buggy? Poor master come out here. Horse and buggy. Where's George Whittam? Get this shit in this truck and let's get on the highway now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, y'all. Good to see you again.
Hey, man. See you, George. Hi, Ella.
Hey, Ella. I'll see you later, okay? You be a good girl and ride your bike and have fun and eat all your food and vegetables, okay? See you later. Bye, Ella.
The following presentation was sponsored by Krispy Kreme Donuts.